That's my dad. He was called Taffy the window cleaner. He cleaned windows around here for over 35 years. So if any of you are from this area, you'll have probably knew him. He did all the terraced houses from here right down to Spittal Hill, the shops on Spittal Hill, etc. But he always knew he was a clever bloke. He didn't really want to be a window cleaner. When he was at school in North Wales, he knew that, he thought he was as clever as a bloke, a lad that went on to be a doctor. So he always had it in his head that he should have been a doctor, but he had to leave school at 14 because his family were too poor. And he ended up coming to Sheffield and window cleaning, but he really wanted us to do well, to do better than he'd done. So he had 7 kids, and he worked really hard to get us all at university. Four of us did actually get to university, so that's quite epic, really. Before he died, he did tell me that he was proud that he'd managed to drink and smoke for 65 years. And seriously, and nothing had finished him off. And we reckon it's because the window cleaning kept him so fit. Meanwhile, my mum, the long-suffering, she had the 7 kids. And she also wanted something better for us. She didn't really want to be married to a window cleaner. So when we were going to school, we were picking up the local dialect, bringing it home, but she didn't like us speaking it, so we weren't allowed to talk it. But me and my 2 younger brothers rebelled against that and carried on talking it. So that's where it comes from. So as far as I'm concerned, Sheffield dialect, it's a really old language, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to go through a little bit about different words and stuff. Dialect is usually about different words that are used, but it's also about accent as well. So, things like class, grass, brass. You won't get me saying the longer versions of those words ever. But it's also words that end in or, like door, floor. I said ua, dua, things like that. So if you're actually from Pitsmoor, you pronounce it Pitsmoor, not Pitsmoor, Pitsmoor. So another word that we use a lot is an ow sound is always ah. So if I can get it right. So now house out is na ass out. So we did used to wind my mother up by saying let's get out and ass, just to be a little bit mean. And the other common use of language is we don't really use the word the. And if you see, there's a sketch by Michael McIntyre that's really funny, and he takes the mick out of Yorkshire people for not using the word the, but he kind of says it wrong. The way that we say it is you don't really pronounce the t at all. You add it to the word before. So if I was to say get in the bath, you don't actually say that, you say get in bath. So it becomes shorter. Back of the net becomes back at net. So everything gets condensed. It's a much more succinct way to talk. Now, in dialect, when I first saw the word gearzit written down, I knew exactly what it meant. It meant gearzit. But what it actually stands for is give it to me. It's the short version of saying give it to me. And it's just kind of like condensed. Likewise, Gior, which obviously makes you sound like a donkey, is actually, it's just short for give over, stop it. So usually people do say it like Gior now. I'll see it. Now, to be fair, I don't say that, but I do know people that do say I'll see thee, and obviously it means I'll see you. And I is often said as a ah. And I like it that we still say that. We still say I'll see you later. It's it's still around, but it's I'll see the. Rate is right. I mean, I spell it rate, but rate. It's also like night becomes nate, fight is fate, so it's fight night becomes fate night. But also, people pronounce night, neat, as neat. So we'll say, oh, they're going to neat. And I don't know where that's come from, but we say that as well. Words instead of you, so there's in thy, this then. That is really ancient. Now, I've been saying the word thas for years, which means you have. And I didn't realise all this time until I was doing this talk, it's actually short for thou hast. So it's a shortened version of thou hast. So it's really quite ancient. Likewise, thee, thou, your. Your is actually a plural version of the word you, which we've lost in modern English, but it's still part of old Sheffield language. And also, what isn't on there is the word mester. The word mester, the first recorded time it was it came from 1200. The word mister didn't come through for another 200 years. So it's kind of like, the little mesters is quite an ancient thing. Another phrase we can have, if we can have the other slide up, is oat for nought. Now, everybody knows, folks always want oat for nought, and it means anything for nothing. Now, I could understand nought coming from naught. The background to that is naught, but oats, it comes from a word ought with an A, so it's like naught without the N in front. That's an old word in itself. But oat for nought is our version of saying that. And the other thing about that, I've never really heard anybody outside of Sheffield pronounce it like we do properly, oat for nought. They usually pronounce it out for nought to rhyme with trout. But that really gets up my nerves. The other thing is we tend to shorten words that have got 2 or 3 syllables. We just shorten them. So isn't it becomes in it, doesn't it becomes done it. Wouldn't it is wouldn't it. Wouldn't it? No, it's won it, it's won it, all of that lot. Shouldn't is shouldn't, and couldn't is the C word. It is. So I couldn't say it because it's a swear word, but I can say it because it's not a swear word in context, in the right context. It's right. So anyway, getting on to my favourite C word is chuff. That basically means you're a bit of a big head. If they're in the room, it's about them. Their opinions are the most important ones. Everybody knows a chuff. Now, to be fair, it tends to refer to men. I'm sorry about that. I think if you're a female chuff, you're a bit of a cow. But it's, just how it is. Chuffed, however, means very pleased. And we think that comes from the French chauffe, which means to warm, to be warmer. Apparently a chauffeur comes from the person, not a driver, but the person that actually warms the seat before everybody gets in the carriage. So, and likewise, there's chuffing. You basically use it instead of the F word, so it's chuffing hell. Chuffing hell, what's happened there? So chuff is a very versatile word, and I do use it probably more than I should, actually. So I think, just to finish, I just think that the language is very old. It's at least 800 years old. And I'm proud that I can speak it, usually to somebody, when they're speaking it as well. But it is a language, and it binds us together in hardship, in defiance, in pride, and humour, because we like having a laugh about it. So I'll leave it there. Thank you.